Greetings, spirit beings, greetings, supreme being. We are all the human race. Our common enemy is death. Welcome on Try Something.Vegetarian. This is the broadcast. Masturbation is healthy. Don't believe their lies. So let's start with a little intro and then I'll read some articles. For universal peace, to get control of all factors that control aging and create a perfect society should be our goal, our prime directive.
(2020) Vision 322, WW3 2020, we all can start digging geothermal energy. Rights groups say more than 200 protesters in Iran shot dead over last 2 weeks, NBC Nightly News. NBC News. The CIA has been hoarding zero-day vulnerabilities, keys that a hacker can use to freely gain access to our systems. 32. YouTube, global warming. No taxes are paid until the government starts doing IT's job. Unite, tax revolt.
So I'll start with this article by medicalexpress.com. Medical and then the letter X and then press.com. So this is masturbation actually has health benefits. December 5th, 2013.
Masturbation actually has health benefits by Spring Chino Cooper, Anthony Santella. The Conversation. Masturbation a natural and normal part of healthy sexual development. Eileen McFall. Conduct an internet search for masturbation, and you will find hundreds, if not thousands, of slang phrases for the act. This proliferation of slang phrases suggests people want to talk about masturbation, but are uncomfortable about doing so directly. Using comedic terms provides a more socially acceptable way to express themselves.
How dare you!
So before we talk any more about it, let's normalize it a bit. Masturbation, or touching one's own genitals for pleasure, is something that babies do from the time they are in the womb. It's a natural and normal part of healthy sexual development. According to a nationally representative U.S. sample, 94% of men admit to masturbating, as do 85% of women, but societal perspectives of masturbation still vary greatly, and there's even some stigma around engaging in the act. Related to this stigma are the many myths about masturbation, myths so ridiculous it's a wonder anyone believes them. They include: masturbation causes blindness and insanity, masturbation can make sexual organs fall off, and masturbation causes infertility.
Perhaps it's better to call them lies, because they're not myths when it's already proven that it's not true.
In actual fact, masturbation has many health benefits. Good for you. For women, masturbation can help prevent cervical infections and urinary tract infections through the process of tinting, or the opening of the cervix that occurs as part of the arousal process. Tinting stretches the cervix, and thus the cervical mucus. This enables fluid circulation, allowing cervical fluids full of bacteria to be flushed out. Masturbation can lower risk of type 2 diabetes, though this association may also be explained by greater overall health, reduce insomnia through hormonal and tension release, and increase pelvic floor strength through the contractions that happen during orgasm. For men, masturbation helps reduce risk of prostate cancer, probably by giving the prostate a chance to flush out potential cancer-causing agents. Masturbation also improves immune functioning by increasing cortisol levels, which can regulate immune functioning in small doses. It also reduces depression by increasing the amount of endorphins in the bloodstream. Masturbation can also indirectly prevent infertility by protecting people from sexually transmitted infections, STIs, that can lead to infertility. You can't give yourself one of these infections. There is one final benefit to masturbation: it's the most convenient method for maximizing orgasms. And there are plenty of additional benefits from orgasms generally, including reduced stress, reduced blood pressure, increased self-esteem, and reduced pain. Good for your partner too. From a sexual health point of view, masturbation is one of the safest sexual behaviors. There's no risk of pregnancy or transmission of sexually transmitted infections. There's no risk of disappointing a partner or of performance anxiety, and there's no emotional baggage. And, only an arm's length away, is mutual masturbation. Mutual masturbation, two partners who are pleasuring themselves in the company of the other, is a great, and safe, activity to incorporate into other partnered sexual activities. It can be especially good to begin to learn more about what your partner likes and to demonstrate to your partner what you like. Open communication with a partner will improve your sex life and relationship, but is also important for modeling communication skills for younger generations. Talking about masturbation also has benefits. Promoting sex-positive views in our own homes and in society, including around masturbation, allows us to teach young people healthy behaviors and attitudes without stigma and shame. Parents and guardians who feel embarrassed or need extra guidance to do this should seek out sex-positive sources of information, like ones from respected universities. 𝕻𝕒𝕒𝕚.com Independent.co.uk .94% of men and 85% of women admit to masturbating. Spring Chino Cooper Anthony Santella Friday, May 15, 2015 11:37:31 Comments. Conduct an internet search for masturbation, and you will find hundreds, if not thousands, of slang phrases for the act. This proliferation of slang phrases suggests people want to talk about masturbation, but are uncomfortable about doing so directly. Using comedic terms provides a more socially acceptable way to express themselves. So before we talk any more about it, let's normalize it a bit. Masturbation, or touching one's own genitals for pleasure, is something that babies do from the time they are in the womb. It's a natural and normal part of healthy sexual development. Advertising. 𝕻𝕒𝕤𝕦 invented by TEDs. According to a nationally representative U.S. sample, 94% of men admit to masturbating, as do 85% of women. But societal perspectives of masturbation still vary greatly, and there's even some stigma around engaging in the act. Sponsored ad. Up next, are you on some form of oral contraception? Related to this stigma are the many myths about masturbation, myths so ridiculous it's a wonder anyone believes them. They include, masturbation causes blindness and insanity, masturbation can make sexual organs fall off, and masturbation causes infertility. In actual fact, masturbation has many health benefits. For women, masturbation can help prevent cervical infections and urinary tract infections through the process of tinting, or the opening of the cervix that occurs as part of the arousal process. Tinting stretches the cervix, and thus the cervical mucus. This enables fluid circulation, allowing cervical fluids full of bacteria.
Seems to me like they had the same source. Basically, it's the same story as the previous one on medicalexpress.com, used also by Independent.co.uk with some alterations. Perhaps you can all compare it for yourselves.
To be flushed out. Advertising. 𝕻𝕒𝕤𝕦 invented by TEDs. Masturbation can lower risk of type 2 diabetes, though this association may also be explained by greater overall health, reduce insomnia through hormonal and tension release, and increase pelvic floor strength through the contractions that happen during orgasm. For men, masturbation helps reduce risk of prostate cancer, probably by giving the prostate a chance to flush out potential cancer-causing agents. The world's most sexually satisfied countries show all 12-12, China 11, Germany 10, Nigeria 9, Australia. Masturbation also improves immune functioning by increasing cortisol levels, which can regulate immune functioning in small doses. It can also reduce depression by increasing the amount of endorphins in the bloodstream. Masturbation can also indirectly prevent infertility by protecting people from sexually transmitted infections, STIs, that can lead to infertility. You can't give yourself one of these infections. There is one final benefit to masturbation: it's the most convenient method for maximizing orgasms, and there are plenty.
So here we see the top 3 world's most sexually satisfied countries according to independent 𝔻𝕠𝕟 are Italy on number 3, Spain number 2, and number 1 Switzerland. Oh, I was in Switzerland recently. Nice clean air, prices are a bit high, but very nice country.
Of additional benefits from orgasms generally, including reduced stress, reduced blood pressure, increased self-esteem, and reduced pain. From a sexual health point of view, masturbation is one of the safest sexual behaviors. There's no risk of pregnancy or transmission of sexually transmitted infections. There's no risk of disappointing a partner or of performance anxiety, and there's no emotional baggage. And, only an arm's length away, is mutual masturbation. Mutual masturbation, two partners who are pleasuring themselves in the company of the other, is a great, and safe, activity to incorporate into other partnered sexual activities. It can be especially good to begin to learn more about what your partner likes and to demonstrate to your partner what you like. Open communication with a partner will improve your sex life and relationship, but is also important for modeling communication skills for younger generations. Talking about masturbation also has benefits. Promoting sex-positive views in our own homes and in society, including around masturbation, allows us to teach young people healthy behaviors and attitudes without stigma and shame. Parents and guardians who feel embarrassed or need extra guidance to do this should seek out sex-positive sources of information, like ones from respected universities. Read more how to gain confidence and maximize your sexual potential. The problem with mainstream porn: the time of day when women and men want sex most. Springchi Noah Cooper is senior lecturer at University of Sydney. Anthony Santella is lecturer of HIV, STIs and sexual health at University of Sydney. This article was originally published on The Conversation. Read the original article. The Independent's Millennial Love Group is the best place to discuss the highs and lows of modern dating and relationships. Join the conversation here. More about sex-promoted stories: Europe rapist swallows poison pill in court moments after being found guilty. Asia woman shot in face because she stopped dancing at wedding in India. Education news: PhD student's life left in tatters following Home Office error. News: Julia Louis-Dreyfus says people took crazy drugs on SNL. Incredible $99 smartwatch is taking Netherlands by storm. Watch sponsored the new budget smartwatch. Everyone in Netherlands is talking about Watch. Sponsored Smith Scout helmet. You're 44,95, bluetomato.com. Five ways masturbation can help your mental health. Refinery29.com. Five ways masturbation can help your mental health. Erica W. Smith. Flash updated October 9, 2019, 4:39 p.m. Photographed by Ashley Armitage. Masturbation helps you learn what you like sexually, plus, it just feels good. But did you know that masturbation can help your mental health, too? While masturbation alone isn't an effective treatment for any mental health condition, it can relieve some symptoms, such as stress and difficulty sleeping. Orgasms are truly amazing things. Vanessa Marin, sex therapist and creator of Finishing School, Learn How to Orgasm, previously told Refinery29. But, if you have any real concerns about your mental health, you're better suited talking to a therapist and coming up with a more comprehensive care plan. Masturbation won't obliterate crippling depression. In other words, masturbation shouldn't be the only item on your mental health treatment plan. It's not a cure-all. But here's what it can do. How masturbation affects your brain. When you masturbate, your body releases a number of feel-good hormones called endorphins, and although studies differ on exactly how, research indicates that it also affects the prefrontal cortex of your brain. How does masturbation affect my mood? Masturbation makes you feel good, and we're not just talking about the physical pleasure. When your body releases endorphins, you feel a temporary mood boost, too. According to Psychology Today, you can thank dopamine and oxytocin in particular for the feelings of high spirits and satisfaction. Can masturbation relieve stress and anxiety? Studies show that the presence of oxytocin lowers the levels of another hormone, cortisol, which is associated with high stress. Some people find that masturbation's stress-fighting effects also work for managing anxiety. After an orgasm, I am also much calmer, and I found that it's actually a fantastic way to stimulate the brain. One woman wrote for Refinery29, "Does masturbation help with depression?" Anecdotally, some people with depression say that the mood boost provided by masturbation can temporarily alleviate their symptoms, but this hasn't been sufficiently studied yet. Can masturbation help you fall asleep? Oxytocin, along with prolactin, another hormone released during masturbation, makes you feel relaxed, so masturbation can be an all-natural sleep aid. A German health insurance company even released an ad promoting masturbation as a way to get a good night's sleep. Can masturbation help your self-esteem? According to Planned Parenthood, masturbation can help improve your body image and self-esteem. This makes sense. Masturbation is a great way to get to know your body better and appreciate all that it can do. Masturbation from Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. Jump to navigation. Jump to search. Onanism redirects here. For the biblical origin of the term onanism, see onan. Jacking off redirects here. It is not to be confused with jacking, a woman masturbating by stimulating her vulva. Gustav Klimt's Woman Seated with Thighs Apart, 1916. A man masturbating by stimulating his penis. Masturbation is the sexual stimulation of one's own genitals for sexual arousal or other sexual pleasure, usually to the point of orgasm. 1, 2, 3. The stimulation may involve hands, fingers, everyday objects, sex toys such as vibrators, or combinations of these. 1, 2. Mutual masturbation is masturbation with a sexual partner. 3, 4. And may include manual stimulation of a partner's genitals, fingering or a hand job. 4. Or be used as a form of non-penetrative sex. 5. Masturbation is frequent in both sexes and at any age. Various medical and psychological benefits have been attributed to a healthy attitude towards sexual activity in general and to masturbation in particular. No causal relationship is known between masturbation and any form of mental or physical disorder. 6, 7. In the Western world, masturbation in private or with a partner is generally considered a normal and healthy part of sexual enjoyment. Masturbation has been depicted in art since prehistoric times, and is both mentioned and discussed in very early writings. In the 18th and 19th centuries, some European theologians and physicians described it as heinous, deplorable, and hideous, but during the 20th century these taboos generally declined. There has been an increase in discussion and portrayal of masturbation in art, popular music, television, films, and literature. Today, religions vary in their views of masturbation. Some view it as a spiritually detrimental practice, some see it as not spiritually detrimental, and others take a situational view. The legal status of masturbation has also varied through history, and masturbation in public is illegal in most countries. 8. Animal masturbation has been observed in many species, both in the wild and in captivity.
So masturbation in public is illegal in most countries, and I advise people not to overstimulate, but with normal masturbation that usually doesn't occur. People can have 4-7 orgasms a day, and females have more orgasms than males, I've read and heard. So you could argue not having sex is a waste of time. It may be healthier even to do it with a partner because of certain hormones, but I think a lot more research needs to go into this. So what should I do? Read the whole wiki article or etymology, terminology, techniques, email, mutual, how far can I go qua YouTube user policy? This is just a wiki article. And I think on this we don't really see any genitalia. That could also be something else basically. Anyway, let's read another article. People can also read the whole wiki article. Should I put an age restriction on this? I don't think so. So I want to make it available to all ages, because some people lie about masturbation and they were misprogrammed with lies by their parents. And it's best to know the truth, because knowledge is power. So to give ourselves and our children more power, we need more truth. That's why I'm a truth teller, conspiracy factist. I'm not a self-proclaimed conspiracy theorist like Alex Jones, control the position. Shills, basically. 8 health benefits of masturbation. So perhaps I can read that, and perhaps I'll also read the wiki article. I can investigate that. But I don't want to make it too long and urge you all to masturbate or make love with your partner. Perhaps start with a shiatsu hand massage, breathing techniques, enjoying each other's company. So it's a good thing, making love as well. It's the way people show their real true love and affection to their fellow humans. So you could argue not having sex or not masturbating is a waste of time. So to hurry up.
8 health benefits of masturbation. Self-love gets a bad rap, but getting sexy with yourself is actually good for you. By Erica Sanchez. February 13, 2015. 𝕤𝕒𝕤𝕤𝕦𝕐𝕟. For centuries, adolescents have been warned that the sin of self-gratification can lead to blindness, impotence, acne, and even furry palms. And in fact, some people still believe that masturbation can cause mental health problems or damage to your genitals. But that is blatantly untrue. Getting sexy with yourself is actually good for you. Here, clinical sexologist Dr. 𝔻𝕠🟪 𝕬𝕒𝕤𝕦 shares 8 reasons to let go of any shame and embrace your inner 𝕻𝕠𝑘𝑠ℎ𝑖𝑛𝑎. 1. It helps you love yourself more. Knowledge of your own body can be incredibly empowering, and the more you tune into your mind and body, the happier you'll be in your relationships. Dr. 𝕻𝕒𝕤𝕦 suggests that you first get a mirror and try looking at your own genitals. If you're shy, begin in a slow, non-sexual manner and work your way up as you become more comfortable. 2. It can make sex with others better. Some people think that women who use vibrators or other toys will have a hard time orgasming with someone else, but experts say that masturbation is one of the best ways to figure out what you like in bed, and subsequently, how to guide your sexual partners. Do yourself and your partner a favor by carving out some me time. 3. It can boost your confidence and body image. It's like the saying goes, masturbation is sex with a person you love, right? Bust out your gadgets, videos, or do it the old-fashioned way to build up your self-esteem, because, believe it or not,
I think that a ring around male genitalia increases cancer risk. So it may be a help to some, but it may not be too tight, and you have to read up on it, I guess. But I would advise other methods if possible.
Pleasing yourself is an easy way to improve your outlook on life. You cultivate very good feelings with yourself, and you.
Cannabis or other natural stimulants, kava is used by some, etc. People can Google everything. But it's true that there are people that have a population reduction policy, and that people's sperm counts may have gone down, and that's actually what they're trying to achieve. So I hope that these people that advocate it are arrested and are not overpopulated. In reality, more about this in my previous broadcasts on Try Something.Vegetarian.
Can transfer that to the rest of the world, says Dr. 𝕻𝕒𝕤𝕤. Confidence is the most potent aphrodisiac. 4. It's good for your vagina. While many women already know the benefits of Kegels, some don't know that they can get similar benefits from masturbation. Orgasms help keep your pelvic floor strong and healthy, which can prevent urinary incontinence and promote your overall sexual health. Contracting your muscles can also help relieve cramps during your period. 5. It'll help you sleep better. You know that amazing feeling after sex when all you want to do is roll over and close your eyes? Dr. 𝕻𝕒𝕤𝕤 attributes that to the flood of endorphins released after you have an orgasm, which promote deeper sleep, and getting enough sleep is really important in your 20s. You can get the same benefit with masturbation, and you'll be going memes in no time. 6. It's good for your heart. Heart disease is the #1 killer of women, but fitting in a regular exercise regime is easier said than done. Luckily, self-stimulation can get your blood flowing too. In fact, several studies suggest that women who experience more orgasms, alone or with a partner, are less susceptible to heart disease and type 2 diabetes. 7. It's safe. Unless you start to feel that masturbating is negatively impacting other aspects of your life, such as relationships with friends or family, it's one of the safest ways to satisfy your sexual needs. So whether you're going through a dry spell or simply want to indulge in some alone time, masturbation is one of the best ways to do that and not have to worry about STDs or pregnancy. 8. It reduces stress. You get a national high when you orgasm and you don't have to rely on another person for this wonderful feeling. Some, though not all, studies suggest it can even help prevent depression. Feeling down? That's the perfect time to show yourself some love. Follow Erica on Twitter.
So that was the real Cosmopolitan.com article, Health Benefits of Masturbation. And I have to add that I think that autofellatio, applying suction to your own thing basically, can also be dangerous. I think that people could break their necks, so that's exploring the limits of masturbation. And you could argue it is self-love, though in fact they're always thinking about someone else. I think most people don't stand in front of the mirror looking and thinking about themselves while achieving their orgasm. So that may also help some people that most people are attracted to the opposite sex, so there may definitely, and there are also dating sites for homosexuals and lesbians, etc., also for fat people. But the helping idea would be that there's probably someone out there that would like sex with you as well, no matter how ugly or handicapped you are. Different strokes for different folks. So everybody has their own sexual desires, though for many people they are quite the same. And I also notice on YouTube that people that look very good automatically get more views than people who look ugly. I think that's one reason, and that's because it's video. So some people, it's just our natural instinct and desire. Part of our survival is all programming done by evolution, if you will. And people can use colloidal silver if they have sex with someone else. Oh yeah, they mentioned 𝕻𝕠𝕟'𝕥 in the article. These were 8 reasons to let go of any shame and embrace your inner 𝕻𝕠𝕟'𝕥. So pride is the opposite of shame, basically, and 𝕻𝕠𝕟'𝕥 means, according to Urban Dictionary, a dirty girl, a girl who sleeps around, who doesn't take care of herself, thinks or says something raunchy. Well, then you could argue she's not a 𝕻𝕠𝕟'𝕥 if she masturbates, because then she's taking care of herself. Anyway, 9 unexpected health benefits of masturbation. It improves heart health. Is it the same in this one? Well, it's different, so let's read this one as well then. And then perhaps the wiki article with a nice background or something, so I can download something. Unexpected health benefits, okay.
Nine unexpected health benefits of masturbation. 𝕻𝕒𝕤𝕥, September 10, 2018, 9:20 p.m. Snapchat. Grace and Frankie vibrator. Grace and Frankie vibrator. Occasional, or frequent, masturbation has more than a few health benefits. Netflix. Most people don't like to talk about masturbation, but it's something that, statistically, many of these same people do. According
So that I can't forget, this is the insider.com article.
to a 2016 study from sex toy company 𝕻𝕠𝕟'𝕥, 95% of men and 81% of women have masturbated in their lifetime. If you are among these people, you may be pleased to learn that masturbating doesn't just feel good, it's actually pretty good for you, too. Here, Jesse Zimmerman, a certified sex therapist and author of Sex Without Stress, explains the unexpected health benefits of masturbating. 1. It improves heart health. Woman exercising. Anything that gets the blood moving can be good for your heart. Siddha Productions, Shutterstock. Similar to exercise, masturbation gets your blood pumping, Zimmerman told Insider. This is good for heart health and may contribute to a lower risk of type 2 diabetes and weight gain. This doesn't mean that masturbating is equivalent to running a marathon, and, because of this, you shouldn't think of it as a replacement for exercise. But it definitely can't hurt to enjoy as a supplement to your regular exercise routine. 2. It helps you sleep better at night. Woman sleeping. Some say masturbation is an all-natural sleep aid. David Prado Peruca, Shutterstock. If you sometimes have trouble sleeping, masturbating could help knock you out. After orgasm, we're normally more relaxed, Zimmerman told Insider. We're also bathed in endorphins and oxytocin, the feel-good hormones that can help us get to sleep easily and sleep more deeply. Read more: 10 sleeping habits that are sabotaging your chance at a good sleep. 3. It reduces the risk of prostate cancer. Man with hands over crotch. Masturbation could potentially help ward off a deadly illness, 𝕓𝕒𝕒𝕢𝕗. Shutterstock. Men who masturbate have a reduced risk of prostate cancer, presumably through flushing of toxins through ejaculation, Zimmerman told Insider. This checks out, according to a Harvard Health Professionals study. Men who ejaculated 21 times or more in a month experienced a 33% lower risk of prostate cancer compared to men who ejaculated 4 to 7 times a month. 3. It strengthens your pelvic floor. Lindsay 𝔻𝕉𝕠𝕟. There are many ways to work the pelvic floor. Fox. To strengthen your pelvic floor, you could try doing Kegel exercises, or, you could just masturbate. The contractions that occur with orgasm strengthen your pelvic floor muscles, helping with urinary issues like incontinence and erectile function. 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕠𝕟. 5. It reduces your risk of vaginal infection. UTI. If you're prone to UTIs, having an extra orgasm might help you. 𝕓𝕒𝕒𝕤𝕥. Shutterstock masturbation can also reduce the chances of infections for people with vaginas. The tenting of the cervix that happens with orgasm is thought to reduce cervical infections and UTIs in women. 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕤𝕗. Read more. UTIs caused by antibiotic-resistant bacteria are on the rise. Here's what to know about the risk. 6. It increases immune function. New Girl Nick C's sick binge watch. Masturbation may not replace vitamin C, but it can't hurt. Fox. Masturbation may help ward off the occasional cold or fever. Orgasm results in a small increase in cortisol, which stimulates your immune function. 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕤𝕗. Of course, even if you masturbate regularly, you'll still need to engage in other activities that strengthen your immune system, like getting sufficient rest. Still, it can't hurt. 7. It gives you the chance to enjoy truly safe sex. Gossip Girl sex scene. Masturbation is free of the awkward moments that can accompany partner sex. The CW. Masturbation is a great way to experience pleasure, with or without a partner, and eliminate the risks of pregnancy or disease. 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕤𝕗. You can't give yourself an STI, and you can't get pregnant. This, in turn, can greatly reduce stress, both due to the ability to enjoy the pleasure of sex without strings attached and the hormones that are released during orgasm. You'll feel more relaxed after sex, and you will increase both oxytocin and endorphins, improving your mood and reducing stress. Zimmerman said. 8. It can improve your confidence. Ilana Broad City Laptop. Getting to know yourself can improve your confidence. Comedy Central. It may seem a little corny, but getting to know your own body can often be a great way to gain greater acceptance of it. Masturbation gives you the perfect opportunity to get to know your body and your sexual response. Zimmerman said. You can grow in your own sexual confidence and improve your self-image. Read more. 10 Masturbation Questions You've Been Too Afraid to Ask, answered by gynecologists. 9. It can increase the enjoyment during partner sex. Bold type Kadena. Sex is better if you're able to tell your partner what you really want. Freeform masturbation can be used as a tool to improve your overall sex life. After all, if you have a general idea of what you like during solo sex, it will be easier to communicate it to your partner when you have sex with them. Learning about yourself through masturbation gives you the knowledge you need to share with your partner so sex can be enjoyable for you. Zimmerman told Insider. Masturbation can also stoke your sexual fires, keeping your desire alive and your sexuality engaged, fueling a vibrant sex life with your lover. Visit Insider's homepage for more. Follow us. Insider is on Facebook. See also 10 Answers to Sex Questions You've Been Too Embarrassed to Ask. More. Sex Vaginal Health Evergreen Story Features. Insider. (1984) George Orwell 1940. .com. Insider.com. Masturbation. Etymology: the English word masturbation was introduced in the 18th century, based on the Latin verb masturbare, alongside the slightly earlier onanism. The Latin verb masturbare is of uncertain origin. Suggested derivations include an unattested word for penis, masto, cognate with Greek 𝕻𝕬𝕐𝕚 genitals, or alternatively a corruption of an unattested manusterpare, to defile with the hand, by association with turbare, to disturb. 1213. Terminology: while masturbation is the formal word for this practice, many other expressions are in common use. Terms such as playing with yourself, pleasuring oneself, and slang such as wanking, 14, jerking off, 15, and frigging are common. Self-abuse and self-pollution were common in early modern times and are still found in modern dictionaries. A large variety of other euphemisms and dysphemisms exist which describe masturbation. For a list of terms, see the entry for masturbate in Wiktionary. Techniques general. 2 vibrators in a sex shop. Masturbation involves touching, pressing, rubbing, or massaging a person's genital area, either with the fingers or against an object such as a pillow, inserting fingers or an object into the vagina or anus, see anal masturbation, and stimulating the penis or vulva with an electric vibrator, which may also be inserted into the vagina or anus. It may also involve touching, rubbing, or pinching the nipples or other erogenous zones while masturbating. Both sexes sometimes apply lubricants to reduce friction. Reading or viewing pornography, sexual fantasies, or other erotic stimuli may lead to a desire for sexual release, such as by masturbation. Some people get sexual pleasure by inserting objects, such as urethral sounds, into the urethra, the tube through which urine and, in men, semen flows. 16. A practice known as urethral play or sounding. 17. Other objects such as ballpoint pens and thermometers are sometimes used, although this practice can lead to injury or infection. 18. Some people masturbate by using machines that simulate intercourse. Men and women may masturbate until they are close to orgasm, stop for a while to reduce excitement, and then resume masturbating. They may repeat this cycle multiple times. This stop and go buildup, known as edging, can achieve even stronger orgasms. 19. Rarely, people quit stimulation just before orgasm to retain the heightened energy that normally comes down after orgasm. 20. Male common positions include lying on back or face down, sitting, squatting, kneeling, or standing. The most common masturbation technique among males is to hold the penis with a loose fist and then to move the hand up and down the shaft. This type of stimulation is typically all that is required to achieve orgasm and ejaculation. The speed of the hand motion varies throughout the masturbation session. Male masturbation techniques may differ between males who have been circumcised and those who have not. Some techniques which may work for one individual can be difficult or uncomfortable for another. For males who have not been circumcised, stimulation of the penis typically comes from the pumping of the foreskin, whereby the foreskin is held and slid up and down over the glans, which, depending on foreskin length, is completely or partially covered and then uncovered in a rapid motion. The outer foreskin glides smoothly over the inner foreskin. The glans itself may widen and lengthen as the stimulation continues, becoming slightly darker in color, while the gliding action of the foreskin reduces friction. This technique may also be used by some circumcised men who have sufficient excess skin remaining from their circumcision. Francis, King Consort of Spain, right, masturbating while his wife, Isabella II, engages in sexual relationships with Carlos Marfori, her overseas minister. Satirical caricature, 1868. For circumcised males, on whom the glans is mostly or completely uncovered, this technique creates more direct contact between the hand and the glans. To avoid friction, irritation and soreness from this resulting friction, some may prefer to use a personal lubricant, masturbation cream, or saliva. The shaft skin can also be slid back and forth, with just the index finger and thumb wrapped around the penis. A variation on this is to place the fingers and thumb on the penis as if playing a flute, and then shuttle them back and forth. Lying face down on a comfortable surface such as a mattress or pillow, the penis can be rubbed against it. This technique may include the use of a simulacrum, or artificial vagina. Prostate massage is one other technique used for sexual stimulation, often in order to reach orgasm. The prostate is sometimes referred to as the male G-spot or P-spot. 21. Some men can achieve orgasm through stimulation of the prostate gland, by stimulating it using a well-lubricated finger or dildo inserted through the anus into the rectum, and men who report the sensation of prostate stimulation often give descriptions similar to females' accounts of G-spot stimulation. 22-23. Prostate stimulation can produce more intense orgasms than penile stimulation. 22. Stimulating the prostate from outside, via pressure on the perineum, can be pleasurable as well. Anal masturbation without any prostate stimulation, with fingers or otherwise, is also one other technique which some men enjoy. Since the muscles of the anus contract during orgasm, the presence of an object holding the sphincter open can strengthen the sensation of the contractions and intensify orgasm. 24. The practice may be pleasurable because of the large number of nerve endings in the anal area, and because of the added stimulation gained from stretching the anal sphincter muscles while inserting the finger. A good quality personal lubricant is advisable to both increase the pleasurable sensation and aid insertion. Some people prefer to simply stimulate the outer ring of the anus, while others will follow this by inserting one or more fingers. There are many other variations on male masturbation techniques. Men may also rub or massage the glands, the rim of the glands, and the frenular delta. Some men place both hands directly on their penis during masturbation, while others may use their free hand to fondle their testicles, nipples, or other parts of their body. The nipples are erogenous zones, and vigorous stimulation of them during masturbation usually causes the penis to become erect more quickly than it would otherwise. Some may keep their hand stationary while pumping into it with pelvic thrusts in order to simulate the motions of sexual intercourse. Some may lay in the prone position and rub their genitals against the bedsheet or other surface, a technique called prone masturbation. 25. In a bath or shower, a male may direct water via handheld shower head at his frenulum, testicles, or perineum. Others may also use vibrators and other sexual devices more commonly associated with female masturbation. A somewhat controversial ejaculation control technique is to put pressure on the perineum, about halfway between the scrotum and the anus, just before ejaculating. Citation needed. This can, however, redirect semen into the bladder. Referred to as retrograde ejaculation. Female see also, fingering. Sexual act. Female masturbation involves the stroking or rubbing of a woman's vulva, especially her clitoris, with an index or middle fingers, or both. Sometimes one or more fingers may be inserted into the vagina to stroke its frontal wall where the G-spot may be located. 26. Masturbation aids such as a vibrator, dildo, or Benoit balls can also be used to stimulate the vagina and clitoris. Many women caress their breasts or stimulate a nipple with a free hand, and anal stimulation is also enjoyed by some. Personal lubricant.
I don't know why the text-to-speech engine is hanging continuously. Also, when I turn the picture show off. CPU is only 40% used. Memory perhaps. Anyway, let's continue. Let's continue reading.
Is sometimes used during masturbation, especially when penetration is involved, but this is not universal and many women find their natural lubrication sufficient. Like males, common positions for female masturbation include lying on back or face down, sitting, squatting, kneeling, or standing. In a bath or shower, a female may direct water via a handheld shower head at her clitoris, vulva, or perineum. Lying face down, one may use the hands, one may straddle a pillow, the corner or edge of the bed, a partner's leg or some scrunched up clothing and hump the vulva and clitoris against it. Standing up, a chair, The corner of an item of furniture, or even a washing machine, can be used to stimulate the clitoris through the labia and clothing. Some masturbate only using pressure applied to the clitoris without direct contact, for example by pressing the palm or ball of the hand against underwear or other clothing. In the 1920s, Havelock Ellis reported that turn-of-the-century seamstresses using treadle-operated sewing machines could achieve orgasm by sitting near the edge of their chairs. 27. Women can stimulate themselves sexually by crossing their legs tightly and clenching the muscles in their legs, creating pressure on the genitals. This can potentially be done in public without observers noticing. Thoughts, fantasies, and memories of previous instances of arousal and orgasm can produce sexual excitation. Some women can orgasm spontaneously by force of will alone, although this may not strictly qualify as masturbation as no physical stimulus is involved. 28-29. Sex therapists will sometimes recommend that female patients take time to masturbate to orgasm, for example to help improve sexual health in relationships, to help determine what is erotically pleasing to them, and because mutual masturbation can lead to more satisfying sexual relationships and added intimacy. 30-31. Mutual. 𝕬𝕗 1925 artwork Les Délaissements d'Eros, The Recreations of Eros, which depicts sexual activity by two women. Johann Nepomuk Geiger, watercolor, 1840. See also, non-penetrative sex. Mutual masturbation involves two or more people who sexually stimulate each other, usually with the hands. It can be practiced by people of any sexual orientation, and can be part of other sexual activity. It may be used as foreplay, or as an alternative to sexual penetration. When used as an alternative to penile vaginal penetration, the goal may be to preserve virginity or to avoid risk of pregnancy. 32-33. Mutual masturbation can be practiced in pairs or groups with or without actually touching another person. For example, non-contact mutual masturbation, two people masturbating in the presence of each other but not touching. Contact mutual masturbation, one person touching another person to masturbate, the other person may do the same during or after. Non-contact group, more than two people masturbating in the presence of each other in a group but not touching each other. Contact group, more than two people physically touching each other to masturbate as a group. Mutual masturbation. Foreplay, the manual stimulation of each other's genitals where the session eventually leads to sexual intercourse. 34. Frequency, age, and sex. Frequency of masturbation is determined by many factors, for example, one's resistance to sexual tension, hormone levels influencing sexual arousal, sexual habits, peer influences, health and one's attitude to masturbation formed by culture. E. Habby and J. Becker examined the latter. 35. Medical causes have also been associated with masturbation. 36, 37, 38. Different studies have found that masturbation is frequent in humans. Alfred Kinsey's 1950s studies on U.S. population have shown that 92% of men and 62% of women have masturbated during their lifespan. 29. Similar results have been found in a 2007 British National Probability Survey. It was found that, between individuals aged 16 to 44, 95% of men and 71% of women masturbated at some point in their lives. 73% of men and 37% of women reported masturbating in the 4 weeks before their interview, while 53% of men and 18% of women reported masturbating in the previous 7 days. 39. The Merck Manual says that 97% of men and 80% of women have masturbated and that, generally speaking, males masturbate more than females. 40. Masturbation is considered normal when performed by children, 41-7-42, even in early infancy. 36. In 2009, the Sheffield NHS Health Trust issued a pamphlet called Pleasure which discussed the health benefits of masturbation. This was done in response to data and experience from the other EU member states to reduce teen pregnancy and STIs, STDs, and to promote healthy habits. 43. In the book Human Sexuality, Diversity in Contemporary America, by Strong, DeVoe and Syed, the authors point out, a baby boy may laugh in his crib while playing with his erect penis. Baby girls sometimes move their bodies rhythmically, almost violently, appearing to experience orgasm. Italian gynecologists Giorgio Giorgi and Marco Siccardi observed via ultrasound a female fetus possibly masturbating and having what appeared to be an orgasm. 44. Popular belief asserts that individuals of either sex who are not in sexually active relationships tend to masturbate more frequently than those who are. However, much of the time this is not true, as masturbation alone or with a partner is often a feature of a relationship. Contrary to this belief, several studies actually reveal a positive correlation between the frequency of masturbation and the frequency of intercourse. A study has reported a significantly higher rate of masturbation in gay men and women who were in a relationship. 39, 45, 46, 47. Kuhn and Mitterer stated, approximately 70% of married women and men masturbate at least occasionally. 48, 49. Evolutionary utility: female masturbation alters conditions in the vagina, cervix and uterus, in ways that can alter the chances of conception from intercourse, depending on the timing of the masturbation. A woman's orgasm between 1 minute before and 45 minutes after insemination favors the chances of that sperm reaching her egg, if, for example, she has had intercourse with more than one male. Such an orgasm can increase the likelihood of a pregnancy by one of them. 50-51. Female masturbation can also provide protection against cervical infections by increasing the acidity of the cervical mucus and by moving debris out of the cervix. 51. In males, masturbation flushes out old sperm with low motility from the male's genital tract. The next ejaculate then contains more fresh sperm, which have higher chances of achieving conception during intercourse. If more than one male has intercourse with a female, the sperm with the highest motility will compete more effectively. 52, 53, 54. Health effects benefits: the medical consensus is that masturbation is a medically healthy and psychologically normal habit. 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62. According to the Merck Manual of Diagnosis and Therapy, it is considered abnormal only when it inhibits partner-oriented behavior, is done in public, or is sufficiently compulsive to cause distress. 63. Sex therapists sometimes recommend that female patients take time to masturbate to orgasm, for example, to help improve sexual health in relationships, to help determine what is erotically pleasing to them, and because mutual masturbation can lead to more satisfying sexual relationships and added intimacy. 30-31. Encyclopedia Britannica endorses the use of masturbation inside sex therapy. 64. It is held in many mental health circles that masturbation can relieve depression and lead to a higher sense of self-esteem. 65. When one partner in a relationship wants more sex than the other, masturbation can provide a balancing effect and promote a more harmonious relationship. 66. Mutual masturbation enables partners in a couple to reveal the map to their pleasure centers, learning how they enjoy being touched. When intercourse is inconvenient or impractical, mutual masturbation affords couples the opportunity to obtain sexual release as often as desired. 66. In 2003, an Australian research team led by Graham Giles of the Cancer Council Australia 67, found that males who masturbated frequently had a lower probability of developing prostate cancer, although they could not demonstrate a direct causation. A 2008 study concluded that frequent ejaculation between the ages of 20 and 40 was correlated with higher risk of developing prostate cancer, while frequent ejaculation in the sixth decade of life was found to be correlated with a lower risk. 68. A study published in 1997 found an inverse association between death from coronary heart disease and frequency of orgasm, even given the risk that myocardial ischemia and myocardial infarction can be triggered by sexual activity. The association between frequency of orgasm and all-cause mortality was also examined using the midpoint of each response category recorded as number of orgasms per year. The age-adjusted odds ratio for an increase of 100 orgasms per year was 0.64, 0.44 to 0.95, that is, A difference in mortality appeared between any two subjects when one subject ejaculated at around 2 times per week more than the other, assuming a broad range average of between 3 and 5 ejaculations per week for healthy males. This would mean 5 to 7 ejaculations per week. This is consistent with a 2003 paper that found the strength of these correlations increased with increasing frequency of ejaculation. 69. A 2008 study at Tabriz Medical University found that ejaculation reduces swollen nasal blood vessels, freeing the airway for normal breathing. The mechanism is through stimulation of the sympathetic nervous system and is long-lasting. The study author suggests it can be done from time to time to alleviate the congestion, and the patient can adjust the number of intercourses or masturbations depending on the severity of the symptoms. 70. Solo masturbation is a sexual activity that is nearly free of risk of sexually transmitted infection. 71. With 2 or more participants, the risk of sexually transmitted infection, while not eliminated, remains lower than with most forms of penetrative sex. Support for such a view and for making masturbation part of the American sex education curriculum led to the dismissal of U.S. Surgeon General Joycelyn Elders during the Clinton administration. Some European Union nations promote masturbation in their sex education curricula. Citation needed. Sexual climax leaves an individual in a relaxed and contented state, frequently followed by drowsiness and sleep. 72, 73, 74. Some professionals consider masturbation equivalent to a cardiovascular workout. 75. Though research remains scant, those suffering from cardiovascular disorders, particularly those recovering from heart attacks, should resume physical activity gradually and with the frequency and rigor which their physical status will allow. This limitation can serve as encouragement to follow through with physical therapy sessions to help improve endurance. In general, sex slightly increases energy consumption. 76-77. Risks in the U.S. Masturbation was a diagnosable psychological condition until DSM-II, 1968. 78. The American Medical Association declared masturbation as normal by consensus in 1972. 79. It does not deplete one's body of energy 80, or produce premature ejaculation. 81. Those who insert objects as aids to masturbation risk them becoming stuck, for example as rectal foreign bodies. Men and women can fall prey to this problem. A woman went into a German hospital with 2 pencils in her bladder, having pierced her urethra after inserting them during masturbation. 82. A male whose penis is bluntly traumatized during intercourse or masturbation may, rarely, sustain a penile fracture 83, 84, 85, or develop Pernet's disease. 86. Phimosis is a contracted foreskin that may cause trouble by hurting when an attempt is made to pull the foreskin back. 87. In these cases, any energetic manipulation of the penis can be problematic. A small percentage of males have post-orgasmic illness syndrome, POIS, which can cause severe muscle pain throughout the body and other symptoms immediately following ejaculation, whether due to masturbation or partnered sex. The symptoms last for up to a week. 88, 89, 90. Some doctors speculate that the frequency of POIS in the population may be greater than has been reported in the academic literature. 91, and that many cases are undiagnosed. 92. Compulsive masturbation and other compulsive behaviors can be signs of an emotional problem, which may need to be addressed by a mental health specialist. 93. As with any nervous habit, it is more helpful to consider the causes of compulsive behavior, rather than try to repress masturbation. 94. Masturbation among adolescents contributes to their developing a sense of mastery over sexual impulses, and it has a role in the physical and emotional development of prepubescence and pubescence. 95. Babies and toddlers will play with their genitals in much the same way as they play with their ears or toes. If such play becomes all-consuming, it may be necessary to look for an underlying cause of this, such as the child being tense and in need of comfort, or that others may be overreacting and thus reinforcing the habit. It could be caused by a low-grade urinary tract or yeast infection. The child may be overstimulated and in need of soothing, or understimulated and bored. Alongside many other factors, such as medical evidence, age-inappropriate sexual knowledge, sexualized play and precocious or seductive behavior. Excessive masturbation may be an indicator of sexual abuse. 96.
I advise people to have at least one orgasm a day. And it may be best to use a dildo or other professional help tool people can buy in sex stores, etc. But there may be risks involved in that. Natural is usually best.
'97, Cultural History Main article, History of Masturbation Ancient World, detail of a crater, dating to c. 560–550 BC, showing a satyr masturbating, a common scene in many ancient Greek pottery paintings. 98–99, the sexual stimulation of one's own genitals has been interpreted variously by different religions, the subject of legislation, social controversy, activism, as well as intellectual study in sexology. Social views regarding masturbation taboo have varied greatly in different cultures, and over history. There are depictions of male and female masturbation in prehistoric rock paintings around the world. From the earliest records, the ancient Sumerians had very relaxed attitudes toward sex. 100. The Sumerians widely believed that masturbation enhanced sexual potency, both for men and for women. 100. And they frequently engaged in it, both alone and with their partners. 100. Men would often use poru oil, a special oil probably mixed with pulverized iron ore intended to enhance friction. 100. Masturbation was also an act of creation and, in Sumerian mythology, the god Enki was believed to have created the Tigris and Euphrates rivers by masturbating and ejaculating into their empty riverbeds. 101. The ancient Egyptians also regarded masturbation by a deity as an act of creation. The god Atum was believed to have created the universe by masturbating to ejaculation. The ancient Greeks also regarded masturbation as a normal and healthy substitute for other forms of sexual pleasure. 102. Most information about masturbation in ancient Greece comes from surviving works of ancient Greek comedy and pottery. 98. Masturbation is frequently referenced in the surviving comedies of Aristophanes, which are the most important sources of information on ancient Greek views on the subject. 98. In ancient Greek pottery, satyrs are often depicted masturbating. 98–99. According to the lives and opinions of eminent philosophers by the 3rd century biographer Diogenes Laertius, Diogenes of Sinope, the 4th century BC Cynic philosopher, often masturbated in public, which was considered scandalous. 103, 104, 105. When people confronted him over this, he would say, "If only it were as easy to banish hunger by rubbing my belly." 103, 104, 105. Among non-Western perspectives on the matter, some teachers and practitioners of traditional Chinese medicine, Taoist meditative and martial arts say that masturbation can cause a lowered energy level in men. Within the African Congo Basin, the aka, Ngandu, Lesi, BRBS, and Ituri ethnic groups all lack a word for masturbation in their languages and are confused by the concept of masturbation. 106. Development of the contemporary Western worldview. This section has multiple issues. Please help improve it or discuss these issues on the talk page. Learn how and when to remove these template messages. The examples and perspective in this section may not represent a worldwide view of the subject. January 2017. This section may be too long and excessively detailed. January 2017. Masturbation was depicted in 19th century Shunga prints, such as this piece by Kunizada. Self-portrait of Egon Schiele in 1911, depicting masturbation. 18th century onanism is a hybrid term which combines the proper noun, onan, with the suffix, ism. 107. Notions of self-pollution, impurity and uncleanness were increasingly associated with various other sexual vices and crimes of the body, such fornication, sodomy, adultery, incest and obscene language. In reaction to the 17th century libertine culture, Middle-class moralists increasingly campaigned for a reformation of manners and a stricter regulation of the body. Paradoxically, a crime that was secret and private became a popular and fashionable topic. Moreover, writers tended to focus more on the perceived links with mental and physical illnesses that were deemed to be associated with the sense of moral outrage. Attention increasingly shifted to the prevention and cure of this illness which perilously sapped men of their virility. 108. The first use of the word onanism to consistently and specifically refer to masturbation is a pamphlet first distributed in London in 1716, titled Onania, or the heinous sin of self-pollution, and all its frightful consequences, in both sexes, considered, with spiritual and physical advice to those who have already injured themselves by this abominable practice. The online etymology dictionary, however, claims the earliest known use of onanism occurred in 1727. In 1743-45, the British physician Robert James published a medicinal dictionary, in which he described masturbation as being productive of the most deplorable and generally incurable disorders and stated that there is perhaps no sin productive of so many hideous consequences. 109. One of the many horrified by the descriptions of malady in onania was the notable Swiss physician Samuel Augustus Sott. In 1760, he published L'Onanisme, his own comprehensive medical treatise on the purported ill effects of masturbation. Though de Sott's ideas are now considered conjectural at best, his treatise was presented as a scholarly, scientific work in a time when experimental physiology was practically non-existent. Immanuel Kant regarded masturbation as a violation of the moral law. In the Metaphysics of Morals, 1797, he made the a posteriori argument that such an unnatural use of one's sexual attribute strikes everyone upon his thinking of it as a violation of one's duty to himself, and suggested that it was regarded as immoral even to give it its proper name, unlike the case of the similarly undutiful act of suicide. He went on, however, to acknowledge that it is not so easy to produce a rational demonstration of the inadmissibility of that unnatural use, but ultimately concluded that its immorality lay in the fact that a man gives up his personality when he uses himself merely as a means for the gratification of an animal drive. 110. 19th century. By 1838, J.Q. had declared in his De Maladies Mentales that masturbation was recognized in all countries as a cause of insanity. 111-112, Dr. John Harvey Kellogg and Reverend Sylvester Graham were among those who proposed that circumcision and eating a bland, meatless diet would curb masturbation. 113. The medical literature of the time also described more invasive procedures including electric shock treatment, infibulation, restraining devices like chastity belts and straitjackets, cauterization or, as a last resort, wholesale surgical excision of the genitals. Medical attitudes toward masturbation began to change towards the end of the 19th century when H. Havelock Ellis, in his seminal 1897 work Studies in the Psychology of Sex, questioned de Sott's premises. 114, 20th century. In 1905, Sigmund Freud addressed masturbation in his 3 essays on the theory of sexuality and associated it with addictive substances. He described the masturbation of infants at the period when the infant is nursing, at 4 years of age, and at puberty. At the same time, the supposed medical condition of hysteria, from the Greek hystra or uterus, was being treated by what would now be described as medically administered or medically prescribed masturbation for women. In 1910, the meetings of the Vienna Psychoanalytic Circle discussed the moral or health effects of masturbation. 115. But its publication on the matter was suppressed. Concerning specific forms of masturbation is a 1922 essay by another Austrian, the psychiatrist and psychoanalyst Wilhelm Reich. In the 7.5-page essay, Reich accepts the prevalent notions on the roles of unconscious fantasy and the subsequent emerging guilt feelings which he saw as originating from the act itself. By 1930, Dr. F. W. Griffin, editor of the Scouter, had written in a book for Rover Scouts stating that the temptation to masturbate was a quite natural stage of development and, citing Ellis' work, held that the effort to achieve complete abstinence was a very serious error. The work of sexologist Alfred Kinsey during the 1940s and 1950s, most notably the Kinsey Reports, insisted that masturbation was an instinctive behavior for both males and females. In the U.S., masturbation has not been a diagnosable condition since DSM-II, 1968. 78. Thomas Sass stated in 1973 the shift in scientific consensus, 56-57-116, masturbation, the primary sexual activity of mankind. In the 19th century it was a disease, in the 20th, it's a cure. 58. In 2019 Encyclopedia Britannica endorses his conclusion, namely masturbation as a cure inside sex therapy. 64. Dorner and others wrote in their now classic book, 1978, self-satisfaction is therefore a priceless good for the success of sexual pleasure, but also for other partnership and sexual relationships, for only if I can offer something to myself can I also offer it to someone else. Not self-satisfaction, but feelings closely correlated with it need among others help through counseling, respectively therapy. 117. In the 1980s Michel Foucault was arguing masturbation taboo was rape by the parents of the sexual activity of their children. However, in 1994, when the Surgeon General of the United States, Dr. Joycelyn Elders, mentioned as an aside that it should be mentioned in school curricula that masturbation was safe and healthy, she was forced to resign. 118, with opponents asserting that she was promoting the teaching of how to masturbate. 21st century both practices and cultural views of masturbation have continued to evolve in the 21st century, partly because the contemporary life world is increasingly technical. According to whom? For example, digital photographs or live video may be used to share masturbatory experiences either in a broadcast format, possibly in exchange of money, as with performances by camgirls and camboys, or between members of a long-distance relationship. 𝕬𝕠𝕟'𝕥 is a growing field. Masturbation has been depicted as a not uncomplicated part of love in the 21st century in the BBC drama by the same name. 119. In modern culture stigma. Even though many medical professionals and scientists have found large amounts of evidence that masturbating is healthy 55, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 81, 78, and commonly practiced by males and females, stigma on the topic still persists today. In November 2013, Matthew Burdett, after being
So it's also in the wiki article, medical professionals and scientists have found large amounts of evidence that masturbating is healthy, with lots of references. Chapter 165, Sexuality and Sexual Disorders. The Second Sin. The Masturbation Gap, the Pained History of Self-Pleasure. Gender and Sexuality. Masturbation, the History of the Great Terror by Jean Stengers. Anne van Neck, Catherine Hoffman. Masturbation as a Means of Achieving Sexual Health by Walter Bochting, Ellie Coleman. Sexual Dysfunctions, The Myth of Sex Addiction. Okay.
filmed masturbating, committed suicide. 121 121 122. In an article published by the nonprofit organization Planned Parenthood Federation of America, it was reported that 123, proving that these ancient stigmas against masturbation are still alive. In November 2013, Matthew Burdett, after being filmed masturbating, committed suicide. 121 121 122. In an article published by the nonprofit organization Planned Parenthood Federation of America, it was reported that 123, proving that these ancient stigmas against masturbation are still alive and felt by women and men, Researchers in 1994 found that half of the adult women and men who masturbate feel guilty about it. 𝕬𝕒𝕚 et al., 1994. p.85. Another study in 2000 found that adolescent young men are still frequently afraid to admit that they masturbate. 𝔻𝕠𝕟'𝕥 et al., 2000, 327. Sperm donation. Male masturbation may be used as a method to obtain semen for third-party reproductive procedures such as artificial insemination and in vitro fertilization, which may involve the use of either partner or donor sperm. 124-125. At a sperm bank or fertility clinic, a special room or cabin may be set aside so that semen may be produced by male masturbation for use in fertility treatments such as artificial insemination. Most semen used for sperm donation, and all semen donated through a sperm bank by sperm donors, is produced in this way. The facility at a sperm bank used for this purpose is known as a masturbatorium, US, or men's production room, UK. A bed or couch is usually provided for the man, and pornographic films or other material may be made available. 126. Encouragement. In the UK in 2009, a leaflet was issued by the National Health Service in Sheffield carrying the slogan, "An orgasm a day keeps the doctor away." It also says, "Health promotion experts advocate 5 portions of fruit and veg a day and 30 minutes physical activity 3 times a week. What about sex or masturbation twice a week?" This leaflet has been circulated to parents, teachers and youth workers and is meant to update sex education by telling older school students about the benefits of enjoyable sex. Its authors have said that for too long, experts have concentrated on the need for safe sex and committed relationships while ignoring the principal reason that many people have sex. The leaflet is entitled Pleasure. Instead of promoting teenage sex, it could encourage young people to delay losing their virginity until they are certain they will enjoy the experience, said one of its authors. 43-127. The Spanish region of Extremadura launched a program in 2009 to encourage sexual self-exploration and the discovery of self-pleasure in people aged from 14 to 17. The €14,000 campaign includes leaflets, flyers, a fanzine, and workshops for the young in which they receive instruction on masturbation techniques along with advice on contraception and self-respect. The initiative, whose slogan is, "Pleasure is in your own hands," has angered local right-wing politicians and challenged traditional Roman Catholic views. Officials from the neighboring region of Andalusia have expressed an interest in copying the program. 128. The textbook Palliative Care Nursing, Quality Care to the End of Life states, terminally ill people are likely no different from the general population regarding their masturbation habits. Palliative care practitioners should routinely ask their patients if anything interferes in their ability to masturbate and then work with the patient to correct the problem if it is identified. 129. Law. The prosecution of masturbation has varied at different times, from complete illegality to virtually unlimited acceptance. In a 17th century law code for the Puritan colony of New Haven, Connecticut, blasphemers, homosexuals and masturbators were eligible for the death penalty. 130. Often, masturbation in the sight of others is prosecuted under a general law such as public indecency, though some laws make specific mention of masturbation. In the UK, masturbating in public is illegal under Section 28 of the Town Police Clauses Act 1847. The penalty may be up to 14 days in prison, depending on a range of circumstantial factors. 131. In the U.S., laws vary from state to state. In 2010, the Supreme Court of Alabama upheld a state law criminalizing the distribution of sex toys. 132. In the city of Charlotte, North Carolina, masturbating in public is a Class 3 misdemeanor. 131. In 2013, a man found masturbating openly on a beach in Sweden was cleared of charges of sexual assault, the court finding that his activities had not been directed towards any specific person. 133. In many jurisdictions, masturbation by one person of another is considered digital penetration, which may be illegal in some cases, such as when the other person is a minor. There is debate whether masturbation should be promoted in correctional institutions. Restrictions on pornography, used to accompany masturbation, are common in American correctional facilities. Connecticut Department of Corrections officials say that these restrictions are intended to avoid a hostile work environment for correctional officers. 134. Other researchers argue allowing masturbation could help prisoners restrict their sexual urges to their imaginations rather than engaging in prison rape or other non-masturbatory sexual activity that could pose sexually transmitted disease or other health risks. 135. Religious Views main article, Religious Views on Masturbation. See also, Religion and Sexuality and Sperm and Vein, Judaism, a temple relief at Khajuraho in Madhya Pradesh, India features a couple in a sexual embrace with a man and a woman masturbating to either side. Religions vary broadly in their views of masturbation, from considering it completely impermissible, as in Roman Catholicism 136, to encouraging and refining it, as, for example, in some Neo-Tantra and Taoist sexual practices. Rites of passage.
So religious laws can be in violation of people's basic human rights contained in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, 𝕻𝕒𝕒𝕚.org. For example, not to commit idolatry, you could argue that that's in violation of people's right to freedom of religion. And the right to freedom from religion is included in that right to freedom of religion. You can choose whether you want to be religious or not and what type of religion. And what was the other thing? Of course, you have the right to touch yourself, you have the right to physical integrity. That's people's most important right. Self-determination. So you could argue it's in violation of that. They claim it is impermissible.
The Sambia tribe of New Guinea has rituals and rites of passage surrounding manhood which last several of years and involves ejaculation through fellatio, often several times a day. Semen is valued and masturbation is seen as a waste of semen and is therefore frowned upon, even though frequent ejaculation is encouraged. The capacity and need to ejaculate is developed or nurtured for years from an early age, but through fellatio, so that it can be consumed rather than wasted. Semen is ingested for strength and is considered in the same line as mother's milk. 137. Better source needed. Other cultures have rites of passage into manhood that culminate in the first ejaculation of a male, usually by the hands of a tribal elder. In some tribes such as the Agta, Philippines, stimulation of the genitals is encouraged from an early age.
So yeah, it's scientifically proven. Sperm is healthy. You can check it out online. Protein, vitamin B12. I've made it a habit to eat my first load. And single ladies are still welcome for that free shiatsu and massage, or to watch a movie. Skype Prologic 999. I'm an honorable male, so I won't touch anybody without their permission. And I live in Meidrecht in the Netherlands.
138. Upon puberty, the young male is then paired off with a wise elder or witch doctor who uses masturbation to build his ability to ejaculate in preparation for a ceremony. The ceremony culminates in a public ejaculation before a celebration. The ejaculate is saved in a wad of animal skin and worn later to help conceive children. In this and other tribes, the measure of manhood is actually associated more with the amount of ejaculate and his need than penis size. Popular culture. Religious ecstasy illustrated as masturbation by Felician Rops, 1833–1898, Masturbation, 1911, Copper engraving by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, Political masturbation on mass media and television, by Danny Silata, 2009. Music. In popular music, there are various songs that deal with masturbation. Some of the earliest examples are My Ding-a-Ling by Chuck Berry and Mary Ann with the Shaky Hand and Pictures of Lily by The Who. 139. More recent popular songs include Rosie by Jackson Browne, 𝕄𝕒𝕤𝕤𝕦𝕬𝕓𝕒. I touch myself by the 𝕻𝕒𝕤𝕦𝕬𝕓. Very busy people by the limousines. Dancing with Myself by Billy Idol. Every Day I Die by Gary Newman. You're Mackin' Me High by Toni Braxton. Holding My Own by The Darkness. Nickelodeon Girls by Pink Guy. Vibe On by Danny Minogue. Orgasm Addict by The Buzzcocks. Captain Jack by Billy Joel. Blister in the Sun by Violent Femmes. Long View by Green Day. M+M's by Blink-182. Wow, I Can Get Sexual Too by Say Anything. Touch of My Hand by Britney Spears. Fingers and You Plus Her Hand by P.N.K. 140. So Happy I Could Die by Lady Gaga. Masturbating Jimmy by the Tiger Lilies. When Life Gets Boring by Gob. Get a Grip by Semisonic. And Darling Nikki by Prince. The 1983 recording She Bop by Cyndi Lauper was one of the first 15 songs ever required to carry parental advisory sticker for sexual content. 141. In a 1993 interview on The Howard Stern Show, Lauper claimed she recorded the vocal track in the nude. 142. The song Masturbates by rock group Mindless Self-Indulgence also deals with the concept of autoerotic activity in a punk framework. Literature. The 1858 schoolboy's novel Eric, or Little by Little, was a tract against masturbation, but did not mention the subject except extremely obliquely, as Kibroth had to have a place mentioned in the Old Testament where those that lusted after meat were buried. In October 1972, an important censorship case was held in Australia, leading to the banning of Philip Roth's novel Portnoy's Complaint in that country due to its masturbation references. The censorship led to public outcry at the time. 143. Further portrayals and references to masturbation have occurred throughout literature, and the practice itself has even contributed to the production of literature among certain writers, such as Woolf, Balzac, Flaubert and John Cheever. 144. Perhaps the most famous fictional depiction of masturbation occurs in the Nausicaa episode of Ulysses by James Joyce. Here the novel's protagonist Bloom brings himself to covert climax during a public fireworks display after being aroused by a young woman's coy exhibitionism. Television. In the Seinfeld episode The Contest. 145, the show's main characters enter into a contest to see who can go the longest without masturbating. Because Seinfeld's network, NBC, did not think masturbation was a suitable topic for primetime television, the word is never used. Instead, the subject is described using a series of euphemisms. Master of My Domain became a part of the American lexicon from this episode. Another NBC show, Late Night with Conan O'Brien, had a character known as the Masturbating Bear, a costume of a bear with a diaper covering its genitals. The masturbating bear would touch his diaper to simulate masturbation. Prior to leaving Late Night to become host of The Tonight Show, Conan O'Brien originally retired the character due to concerns about its appropriateness in an earlier time slot. 146. The Masturbating Bear, however, made his Tonight Show debut during the final days of Conan O'Brien's tenure as host of The Tonight Show. It was clear by then that Conan O'Brien was being removed from the show, and he spent his last shows pushing the envelope with skits that typically would not be appropriate for The Tonight Show, one of which was The Masturbating Bear. 147. After much debate on whether or not he would be able to be used on Conan O'Brien's new TBS show, Conan, the Masturbating Bear made an appearance on the very first episode. 148. In March 2007, the UK broadcaster Channel 4 was to air a season of television programs about masturbation, called Wank Week. Wank is a Briticism for masturbate. The series came under public attack from senior television figures, and was pulled amid claims of declining editorial standards and controversy over the channel's public service broadcasting credentials. However, its constituent films may yet be shown by the channel at a later date. 149 needs update. Film, Every Sperm is Sacred, performed at the Monty Python reunion, Monty Python Live, mostly, in July 2014 in Monty Python's The Meaning of Life, 1983. The song Every Sperm is Sacred is a satire of Catholic teachings on reproduction that forbid masturbation, and contraception, by artificial means. In Talking Cock by comedian Richard Herring, the sketch is used to ridicule those who condemn masturbation, and sex, for any purpose other than procreation. 150. In American Pie, 1999, Nadia, Shannon Elizabeth, discovers Jim's, Jason Biggs, pornography collection and while half-naked sitting on his bed masturbates to it. In American Reunion, 2012, Noah, Eugene Levy, attempts to explain the potential joys and difficulties of Jim explaining masturbation to his future son. 151. Pornography depictions of male and female masturbation are common in pornography, including gay pornography. 𝕻𝕒𝕝𝕚, 1910, one of the earliest pornographic films that have been collected at the Kinsey Institute for Research in Sex, Gender, and Reproduction. 152-153, starts with a female masturbation scene. Solo performances in gay pornography have been described in 1985 as either or both active, tense, upright, and/or passive, supine, exposed, languid, available, whereas female solo performances are said to be exclusively passive, supine, spread, seated, squatted, orifices offered, etc. 154. Solo pornography recognized with AVN awards include the All Alone Series 155, and All Natural, Glamour Solos. 156. Other Animals main article, Masturbation in animals. Masturbatory behavior has been documented in a very wide range of species. Individuals of some species have been known to create tools for masturbation purposes. 11. See also Adult video arcade autoeroticism autofellatio cum shot digrass noctemimer handjob juggum penis, archaic anti-masturbation device National Masturbation Day nocturnal emission phone sex self-love sex doll sex magic Venus butterfly WHO rod.svg medicine portal sexual orientation, 4 symbols.svg human sexuality portal references, Robinson, Jennifer, March 4, 2010,
So I've covered the whole wiki article, Wikipedia, the CIA Vatican edited encyclopedia. And I think that most groypers also masturbated, and most religious people as well, with very few exceptions. So it's good to know that it's healthy. I think that children also have the right to know this. And of course I'm totally against any illegal activities. That's clear. And the age of consent is 16 in the Netherlands, so after people have achieved the age of 16, then they can have sex with an adult, basically. So we also see that in the porn industry. But usually children have sex at a younger age already, when they achieve puberty. And I think that's a good thing when they have sex together. It's a wonderful experience, perhaps the best experience of their lives. Orgasm is wonderful. Some for more liberty and security. And only using the new technology scalar and synthetic telepathy to bestow maximum fulfillment upon everybody. People have a right to privacy, freedom of thought, and freedom of speech. And that's also in most constitutions. So the right to physical integrity, call it bodily integrity, is really your most important right. People have. Because you could argue you are your physical body, the other person is your physical body. So the concept of the soul is in no way proven, neither are miracles. Miracles in the soul do not exist. But people have a self, and there's organ, life force, energy. And 7.5 billion people out there, so probably there's someone who would like you as well. I'm not really dating actively, other than trying to find people in my environment, potential single ladies that might like free shields and massage, drink smoothie or coffee or whatever you like, get to know me better, or to Skype. You can also communicate via Skype. But I've never done that. I've never masturbated during a live broadcast or Skype. And I've had 2 girlfriends, so I was pretty lucky already. And I've never had sex without a condom, so technically you could argue I'm still a virgin. So yeah, the more sex the better, you could argue. And pretending that it's bad and dirty may also have to do with getting ahead themselves. It might be, or it's just thought of by evil people that want to reduce the global population or whatever. So people must put things in perspective, and punishment must always be proportionate to the crime if you're talking about punishment. So people may not be punished for touching their own body. They have rights. They have a right to physical integrity, and the laws of the country are applicable, so that can differ from country to country. So be careful, because some people have been killed for questioning authority. So you must always remember, distrust authority. Safety first. Right here. So thank you all for watching. Check my other videos on my channel, Try Something.Vegetarian. Videos have crucial information for humanity's survival. That's all. Human race above all is my latest slogan or motto. So yeah, I think there's great porn on the internet, so that can help people with masturbating and achieving orgasms, which is healthy, it's scientifically proven. And often our body feels what it needs. Because of evolution, our bodies have evolved. That took millions of years. Humans have been around about 2.8 million years. So we evolved from the monkeys basically into what we are today. So I should have bought my girlfriends more presents. Monkeys also give partner presents. Oh, that's a good idea. But I thought be loved, it's not based on materialistic stuff, etc. So it began in Africa, we're all descendants of Lucian hominids. And people can always Skype ProLogic999 to have a debate, or to just ask me questions, ask me anything, and for advice, or to give me advice or critique or praise. We could also get together and do a movie. People would like to star my first movie, Skype ProLogic number 909. And it's based on the work of Fritz Springmeier. So it's not, well, you could argue it's an inverted 666 basically, but it has to do with the close out and back down code for the neural network, and Fritz Springmeier might also be controlled a position, so it might not work, or they may have changed their hypnotic triggers, etc. But that's a whole, that's a different world basically. So you could argue that prostitution is the perversification of love, basically. They do it for money. Real love is free. Money can't buy me love, etc. But to a certain extent that's true, but on the other hand, it's a much better job than many other jobs out there. And I do think, however, that these condoms need to be edible, basically, if they're used for blowjobs. And they may not contain any chemicals. I don't know if that's even creatable. Edible condom without chemicals. Perhaps they already exist, I don't know. Anyway, whatever, safety first, colloidal silver can help immunize people against their designer viruses, help to expose the carbon tax scam and what must be exposed and boycotted for a better future. Boycotting is another good message to put out there, because for people, in order to be able to do it, they first have to have the idea. So if they don't hear it, then they will probably not get the idea, and they won't help change our timeline for the better, for humanity. And perhaps they're trying to program us with the opposite, that humanity is lower, they're mere mortals, etc. Even the idea that humanity is a cancer upon the earth. Chemicals have a synergistic effect with cancer-causing electromagnetic radiation, according to Dr. Cyril Smith. Chemicals are to be avoided. Chemicals in cancer killer alcohol, chemicals in prescription drugs, cancer causing prescription drugs. So try to use natural cures and build off slowly if possible. Totally stop using chemicals, cancer prescription drugs. Perhaps consult your physician about it, but they can be in on the population reduction. Perhaps it's better to just check it online, because physicians may also have differing opinions. Cannabis may also help. It's illegal to block these working cures from the public. So cannabis, cocaine and heroin must be legalized. Of course, there are people that want to reduce the global population. Clear from the book quotes in Georgia Guidestones. And the Rockefeller drug laws have made growing your own heroin, cannabis and cocaine at home illegal. And that is to reduce the global population. In reality, of course, money is also important. So they have no natural alternatives for cocaine, heroin, cannabis. For example, they use xylocaine, lidocaine. These are synthetic variants, so the chemicals, so they increase your cancer risk. And people can't grow them at home, so they can make a fortune of that. Cartel fortune of chemicals, cancer-causing prescription drugs that also help with the population reduction, of which they pretend it's normal, and that all the other things are much worse. But I explain in my video why that's not the case in several videos on this channel and other videos. So please help to expose the carbon tax scam, which is part of the population reduction. So you could see it like money is blood, sustainability is democide. I've explained it also more in my broadcast about Piers Corbyn and the carbon tax scam. So I advise everybody to watch the video Carbon Tax Scam, their Energy Alliance channel. not to convict anyone without a fair trial, which is impossible because of remote torture technology, synthetic telepathy. So it's natural global warming, not man-made global warming, according to other peer-reviewed scientific articles. Scientists, climate experts know what they're talking about. And I think it's wrong to burn that many trees in the Netherlands, and that they should watch out that they don't overdo it, that humans need to be safe, that we need to focus on controlling all factors that control aging, and they are trying to reduce the global population by focusing on saving the planet, which doesn't need saving because the planet is dead. Only the organisms upon and within it are alive. Some say the third rock from the sun, or sometimes the moon is in between. It's the fourth. Sun, basically. Okay, so lots of people are masturbating as we speak. The sun is rising and at the same time setting somewhere else. Some places day in another. So there are millions of people masturbating out there. It's nothing to be ashamed of. I think some people are to a certain extent proud of it when they achieve their orgasm, especially when it's with a partner. And that may be tied to orgone life force, energy, survival as well, so it's a good thing for the humans. Alright, so then I better get at it. This broadcast has already taken 1 hour 52 minutes 26 seconds. So thank you all very much for watching. Thank you all for your likes and subscribes. So my channel does need more viewers. Hopefully I could get my live streaming capacity back on YouTube, because I don't really like Facebook very much. And I think that in my videos I've revealed quite a bit of interesting information about certain matters, vital, crucial information for your survival. Also check my other videos, try Something.Vegetarian, and do something for universal peace, for a better future for humanity. And masturbation and making love with a partner, doing nice things for one another, holiday season coming up again. It's simply much better, so it's okay to promote it, I think, also. So thank you all for watching. My name is Ulrich Hoffman. Please tune in next time on Try Something.Vegetarian on YouTube. And thanks to YouTube for allowing me to have a channel.